Module 2, Compliance. All employers are given very specific areas where they need to meet compliance, and they must ensure they apply all legislation to their area of work. This includes having a legal register of what work they provide, and the tools, machinery, equipment, etc. used to be able to perform such works. Then they need the specific piece of legislation that has an impact on that area of work. For instance, a plumber works at heights on a ladder. The Occupational Health and Safety Act does not have any specific information on ladders, so the legal register needs to have a specific reference. On doing research, we find that the General Safety Regulations Section 13A deals with ladders. We then use this as our point of reference to get compliance. But now, let us apply this to a construction site. What now? Well, the General Safety Regulation will still stand, but within construction, we would need to have the addition of Construction Regulation 10, Fall Protection. Under Section 8 of the Occupational Health and Safety Act, it clearly states that employers must provide information, instruction, training, and supervision. Thus, knowing where to apply a specific piece of legislation, what type of legislation is required, and then the precautionary measures that have been set out either in legislation, manufacturer's requirements, or any other standard needs to be applied. Now, how is this information and instructions given out? What type of training is required? And who needs to supervise this process? Remember, all of this information is readily available, but you must design your own legal register. Health and safety information should be freely available to any employee within a company. This can be achieved by having a safety information handbook, a safety file, or a safety document that outlines what the company's stand is on health and safety for employees. Although the Occupational Health and Safety policy is clearly visible to all employees, there is other information that is necessary for employees not only to know, but also to understand. This will include things such as the hazards and risks attached to any part of their work, incidents and accidents, or the potential for incidents and accidents, their scope of work and authority, any company-specific occupational health and safety related information, as well as general occupational health and safety related information. The meaning or definition of instruction is detailed information about how something should be done or operated. Having information is one thing, but having the knowledge on how to take that information and apply it is another thing altogether. Understanding is the application of knowledge, and thus employers must ensure that the information given is followed by instructions. This can be done through specific method statements, safe work procedures, safe operating procedures, risk assessments that include control measures, and specific direction through leadership and training. Training is a vital aspect for any health and safety management system. When any person is appointed into an OHS-related position, they will need to be trained on how to carry out their duties and functions. As stated in information and instruction, employees must know how to carry out their scope of authority to best serve the health and safety goals and targets of the company. The following is some training that may be required. legal liabilities for employers and employees, such as this course you are currently going on. Managers and supervisors can do supervisory training, training for health and safety reps, first aiders, firefighters, emergency coordinators, and any person on hazard identification and risk assessment. Some courses can be done in-house. Others may require you to use a service provider that is registered with a correct body. In any instance, whether in-house training or outsourced training, all training must be done by competent persons. We want to ensure the best for our employees and not be held liable because they did not know what they needed to do. So, employers and employees, what training do you need? Finally, supervision. It is a requirement of the Occupational Health and Safety Act for employers to provide competent supervision for their workforce. This means that a supervisor must know and understand the hazards and risks that employees are faced with, and know how to mitigate the risks in order for employees to be safe. A competent person means any person who has, in respect of the work or task to be performed, the required knowledge, the required training, the required experience, and where applicable, qualifications specific to that work or task. Provided that where appropriate qualifications and training are registered in terms of the provisions of the National Qualifications Framework Act of 2000. The following are some areas that need competence: the use of tools, the use of machinery, plant, substances, and any high-risk areas, such as working at heights or working in confined spaces. Now ask yourself, where are some areas that you need competent supervision and competent training?